entrepreneurs. Some of them in their 20s started the venture. Some of them I think most of you know about. People coming from the media industry to tech industry to law industry, and believe me, they trailed their own path. So they are trailblazers for all of us, right? So we're going to be hearing their experience. How did they establish their organization? What are they doing? And where did they get the inspirations from, right? So I am really thrilled to join by my speakers today. We've got Ankur. Ankur is a co-founder of Kankonkar Technology Private Limited. We've got Narendra, who's a practicing lawyer, so he's trying to work his own law firm. And we've got Danish, who definitely doesn't need any intro.
Yeah, that's right.
Do I need to introduce Danish to you?
No!
Oh. But Danish is the founder of Radio Udaan. Everybody knows about it. I don't need to introduce him. We'd like to start with Danish with his opening remarks. So Danish, why don't you introduce yourself, your journey, brief journey, and your introduction. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Shakul. Thank you so much for having me here. First, before I start about my personal journey, I want to share one thing. One, my job is in danger. Then Shakul is having my job. So he is becoming an entrepreneur and he is just pushing me back. And one thing about Karthik is very dear friend of mine. See, we can organize function, we can arrange conferences, we can do work, but for any person to work in the disability field is most important to be accessible to the friends, to the community. And I can tell you honestly, nobody can do this job better than Karthik. He stays in America, but he's always there. And you can reach him day or night, he will always be there. God knows when he sleeps. Yeah. So thank you so much, Karthik, for having me. Now about my journey. I got blind when I was 14. I come from a very remote village near Punjab, Pathankot, and there was no awareness at all. And due to that, for 14 to 18, I had no knowledge whatsoever that whether blind can study or they can do something in a life or not. So at that time of 18, when I was 18, I asked my doctor and he just told me that yes, you can study. So there is a school in Amritsar. I went there. They said, you need to go to Ludhiana. We don't accommodate students after 15. So then I went to Ludhiana. There was, family was not ready to send me. The best thing was with me, by the grace of God, that I accepted my disability, when I got blind. So I did not face any depression or challenge. I was very vocal about it, and I know that I have to do something. So I had a way, whether I have to cry or try, and I choose the way of try. I went to Ludhiana and I observed things there, and I was very passionate about this disability activism. I gave a thought, what can I do for the community? And so people like me should not waste their valuable time in the rural areas. So I came up with this radio idea. It took me around 5 to 6 years to research, how can we sustain it and how can we make it productive. So a lot of efforts, but thanks God, and I got love from all over, and as a result of that, we are able to run that project.
Thanks so much, Danish, sharing your experience. And by the way, I'm not sure whether I would be able to steal his job or not, but he has promised me yesterday that he's going to give me a job at Radio Udaan, so I'm glad.
And Karthik's company is in danger.
Also, by the way, I should point out that Radio Udaan on be a partner with
Exactly.
That's great.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, they're coming there. Well, you'll soon have a session on I-stem Confluence 2022. Okay, now moving on to the next entrepreneur, and I hope that he will also give me a job, and I will have multiple source of income. We'd love to hear from Ankur. Ankur, what's your journey, brief journey about you, how you started, and everything?
Yeah. Hello. Am I audible? Yeah. So, hi everyone. This is Ankur Kankonkar from Goa. I'm glad Shakul actually pronounced the name right, because my surname has been pronounced in a lot of different manners, and it's a mess. So, I come from Goa. How many of you guys have actually been to Goa?
Yes.
Yeah. So Goa is a land of the sand and the beaches and the nightlife and laid-back lifestyle. So I was born, brought up in Goa. I grew up living the same lifestyle, a hipster lifestyle. As a kid, I was always a bright student, one of the top 3 in class. I did a lot of extracurricular activities like theatre arts. I used to participate in quiz competitions, elocution, and whatnot. I was a sportsman as well, loved to play cricket and football. And football was my first passion. Then, by default, when you're a bright kid, right, when you are in your 11th, you've got to take science. Right? That is how this society is. So I took science, I studied it, but I didn't really like it. I kind of lost my way a little because I was more interested in studying maybe languages or arts or something like that. But getting into a science background didn't really suit me. So somehow, after I did my 12th science, I got into this Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Sciences program. Don't ask me how, because I don't even have a clue right now. I just lost my way. And when I was in my second year in B Pharma, my entire world turned upside down because I was actually diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa at a very young age, but it had never actually affected my eyesight. And when I was in my second year, that is when my eyesight started degrading. And over a period of about 6 to 9 months, my sight had completely degraded and I became completely blind. So from being a sighted individual, an extrovert who would love to do anything and everything, I suddenly, lose my sight and I don't know what to do. I lose confidence, I can't even do the simplest of things. I drop out of college because, I'm suffering from severe depression. And I commend our other speaker here, Mr. Danish, who said he accepted his blindness very, very readily. For me, it was a struggle, it was an uphill battle. And so I spent a lot of time at home, doing nothing basically, just surviving. And then I got introduced to, screen readers and tech. And suddenly I started using computers again, and a whole new world actually opened up. So I started using the internet, and I read the story of another guy, somebody called Karthik Sahni from Delhi. I think Karthik, you know him, right? So I read his story and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And some kind of fire, ignited in my belly. I said, I can't put my life to waste. I need to do something here. So I began exploring opportunities and career options and stuff. And when I read about Karthik, he studied computer science from Stanford, of course. I'm not as talented as him, but I said, what, God has given me some talent, so why not use it? So I began exploring opportunities, and BSc Computer Science became a viable option. So when I went to college, this is Chogle College, and it's one of the premium colleges in Goa. They refused to give me admission straight away because they said, you're a blind guy, how are you going to cope? After a lot of uphill struggle, a lot of convincing, finally they said, we'll take you on. lot of support from my teachers and friends, blood, sweat and tears later on, and 3 years later on, I passed out with my BSc Computer Science degree, and not just that, I topped entire Goa University's 9 streams of BSc in 2017 and became a university topper. I never leave a chance to brag about this on any stage. So thank you so much. Thanks so much. Felicitations at the hands of our Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar was one of the highlights. Our late Chief Minister is no more with us. After that, the same doubters became, very enthusiastic and became my felicitators, and they wanted to, do something more. So I took up my master's program from the same college, MSc in Information Technology. I passed out in 2019. I got in touch with I-stem for my internship in 2018. That's when I first got in touch with Karthik, my, savior, my hero, my life changer. And the internship was a great experience. And after that, in 2019, I was thinking, what am I going to do? And then with a couple of friends of mine, I always had this idea of having your own startup. So I said, why not go for it? Why not, live your dream right away? Why wait till your, 40s or 50s or 60s before you start your own company? I said, let's go for it. And we started our firm in 2019. And it's a consultancy firm. We are into software development. We develop custom software, including web, mobile applications, and cloud-based solutions, scalable systems. Right now, we have clients in Goa, in India, and all over the world soon. So, the journey from that kid who loved to do sport, to going blind, to starting my own company, surviving a pandemic, growing through it, then surviving a personal disaster very recently, losing one of our co-founders. That was an absolute nightmare. My journey has been an absolute roller coaster of a ride. So thanks so much for giving me this stage. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Ankit. Such a wonderful speaker and so energetic, and that's how entrepreneurs should be like. Unlike those people who said that they want to be entrepreneurs and they were sounding quietly. Now, so you've been hearing about Karthik for so many people. There is a small request from my side. After this session, make sure that he doesn't get time for lunch. 1 or 2 people should surround him all the time, interact with him, make sure he doesn't get to his way towards the lunch. And he's such an inspiration guy,
I am getting my lunch no matter what. I am not eating anyone. Sorry, guys. I don't listen to this guy. Anything that he says is the opposite that you want.
Okay. So now I go back to Narendra. Narendra, why don't you share about your journey?
Sure. Hello, am I audible? Yes. So, yeah. So at the outset, I would really like to thank all the organizers for arranging such a wonderful event. Karthik, Shakul, and the whole team. It's really a fabulous event. And to start my journey, it is somewhat similar to Ankur, because I am also a RP patient. I have studied in a normal school, and at that point of time, me and my family members, we had no knowledge of blindness or any disability. The only fact is, in Pune, in where I stay, we have a blind school for the girls. So I used to often visit there just to buy candles from those girls, or this was only my connection with blindness or any other disability. And it was in 10th standard that I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa at that point of time. And this is, whatever I am speaking, this is in year 2000. And at that time, technology and everything, it was not as it is today. And so then I did my BA, because at that time, BA was the only option, at least that I knew. Now we know that science, technology, commerce, engineering, everything is open. But basically, there was nobody to tell, to guide, to mentor that what to do after your 10th standard, when you have become, when you are on the verge of becoming blind. I had little vision. I used to write my notes in a book, big book with sketch pen, because that's the only way that I could read at that time. And Then I did my BA from Ferguson College, which is one of the leading colleges in our country, from Pune. After that, I became totally blind. I was 21 years. I did not go into depression only because of my father, because he used to always tell me to look down upon people who are in more difficult situations, like people who are on wheelchair or who are suffering from other problems. You should look towards them and try to lead your life in a better way. And from then till today, I am still struggling to find something for me, some way for me. And at that time, I decided to do music, MA music, because that was a good option. I did it, I even performed. And along with that, soon I realized that this is not sufficient to lead a good life. Music is there, I perform, but performing arts, you don't have a routine life. Sometimes in 1 month you have a program, sometimes 3 months there is nothing. So then I did LLB from I-stem Law College again, because I'm based in Pune. Then from there my journey has changed a lot, because I'm very proud to tell to all of you that now Dr. Sanjay Jain, who is totally blind, he is the principal of I-stem Law College, and I met him. He changed my life a lot. He told me that you do LLB, you will really succeed. I did LLB, then worked in a law firm, RSB Legal, and that is the place where I learned other things. That because it happens now that whatever things you learn in college and the practical aspects, they are totally different. So the services that now I am providing, all those things I have done there. I just would like to tell you all what services I provide, with just one small illustration to understand what the services are really. And these all services are online mode, and so anyone can access. You can contact me, and I will be really delighted to provide those services. Basically, I provide legal opinion or advice. So for example, I had a matter that whether a teacher, a pre-primary teacher, is she eligible to receive gratuity under the Payment of Gratuity Act, or every year new acts are coming up, there are some changes, amendments. So I provide information about that. Then compliance manuals, policy manuals, because see, for example, a person wants to start a factory, then he needs some checklist that, okay, some compliances, these laws, these NOC, etc. So I provide all that material information, and along with that, I provide training on various law aspects. And right now, as a part of training, for those who are connected with bank jobs, nationalized banks, they have an exam called as JAIIB, which also has a legal and regulatory paper, and I'm guiding those people on that particular topic. So this is all about me and my entrepreneurship. Thank you so much.
So Narendra, when did you decide to start your own practice once you completed the LLB?
Yeah.
And why?
Okay. So I worked for almost 3 years with Advocate Ravi Bharadwaj, and along with that, it used to happen in our firm that people who were working before me, they had worked for 2 years, 2.5 years, and they left. New batch came, and they used to tell me that, look, now I got job in a bigger law firm or in a company or something like that. And I started searching, but it is, I think, my unfortune that in spite of searching a lot, I did not find. And what came to my mind is that instead of complaining the situation, why not start something of my own? And that prompted me to start this venture.
Danish, I just want to understand, I mean, we all know how popular Radio Udaan is and how we all, listen to it in our day night. I just wanted to understand, where does this idea come from, and why did you feel so strongly about it?
Great. So, as I told you, when I went to school, I observed things. So, in around 2010 and between 2010 to 2014, it was a journey of introspection. It was a journey of analyzing things, what is going on. So what I found is, Shakul, there was no platform for persons with disabilities. And media, they were not covering our event. There were a lot of incidents. Media was completely silent on issues. And most importantly, we did not have any platform. So there were organizations who were doing great things. We had conventional organizations. They were providing trainings and stuff. But radio, when we thought of starting an online school, but then our team researched and found there's already a school called Hadley School for the Blind. So they are doing great. So we should do what others are not doing. So when we, think of Radio Udaan, it was very interesting. On radio you can run many projects. It's like a mall. You can give training, you can run educational shows, you can run shows with regard to disabilities, you can have debates, you have, you can have discussions, you have, you can have shows related to disability news bulletin, then you can make tutorial, you can collaborate with all the organizations, you can work as a pressure group. So it is like a mall. You can have anything or everything in this project, and it is also a very great entrepreneur project. A lot of people have language barrier. There are people who are not good at their writing skills. So radio, you can speak, you can share your thoughts. So I found it very interesting, and it was not that expensive if we talk about online. So when we had a team, we used to sit on Skype. So when we used to think about this project, the only challenge was we have to be consistent. It takes a lot of time. You need to be very focused. You need to be very vigilant. And most important thing, you need to research on daily basis. You need to keep yourself up to date. You have to interact with people. So for me, it was very fascinating. And as we are media partner of this event as well. So both, great opportunity to interact with the people and to contribute in the different fields under one platform.
Thank you so much. Can I have a silence, guys, please? These are really important remarks and could be life-changing to many of you. So those who want to listen to these guys, please allow them to do so. Can you talk? Can you go outside if you want to talk?
I think the sound is coming from outside.
No worries. The same question to Ankur. When did you decide to become an entrepreneur, and why did you do so?
Yeah, Shakul. So, see, my parents both come from a service background, so both of them are government servants. No one in our family actually was into business or was into entrepreneurship. But as I said, when I was, at home for those 6-7 years, when I was going through a depression and stuff, I always wanted, to come back and do something special. So once I finished my education, actually, I did a couple of interviews with a couple of companies, and I didn't like the process at all. I was like, I would rather be the one who asked the questions, right, rather than answer them. So I wanted to sit on the other side of the table. So somewhere around, you could say, 2017 to 2019 was when I first decided, what, I want to be an entrepreneur, and I want to feel that what it feels like. What is it to start a company from scratch? And second main reason for starting my own firm was that I wanted to feel free and truly free. When I say that, what do I mean by that? See, you're not actually free when you have your own company, but when you do have people who work for you, and mind you, we have sighted people mostly who work for us, and it feels great to be a non-sighted person who leads a group of sighted individuals, because it's usually the other way around, and that is amazing. So I always wanted this freedom of doing whatever, whenever and wherever I wanted to do things. So entrepreneurship and my own company gives me that freedom, first and foremost. And one last thing is, I always, love to solve problems. Whenever problems occur, I always want to solve them, and that is one of the key skills that every entrepreneur needs. So I think these are some of the reasons why I decided and when I decided to start my journey.
And my next question is open to all of you, and let me know who wants to go first. I really want to understand, as a person with disability and that to an entrepreneur where you're running a company, what are the challenges that you face in your day-to-day life? And not only challenges, what are the opportunities? How do you look at it? Because see, it's not very common that people with disabilities being an entrepreneur. Since you guys are trailblazers and started a new regime altogether, really want to understand how does it feel like to be? Opportunities, challenges, what have you. So who want to go first? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting question, Shakul. Thank you so much for asking. See, if you see, as you mentioned, there are very less entrepreneurs in India particularly. So now change has come. It has started from last 5 to 7 years. We had a lot of challenges. If we there are a lot of research paper on that. The biggest challenge is nobody is there to fund you. There are schemes, there are government schemes. For example, we have Mudra Yojana. If a non-disabled goes, they can easily get the loan. But if you are disabled, there is a scheme, there is no barrier, but they will hesitate to give you loan. So you have to put your energy there as well. Number two, in entrepreneurship, you have to compete with the non-disabled. Now there are no reservations. No, you cannot think of reservation that you have to show your skills. You need to show you need to give the best services one can give. Now market is open for all, you have to compete with them. Third thing, we lack resources. So government needs to come forward and provide a qualitative skill development program. We have NHFDC, National Handicap Finance Development Corporation. But again, the process is very difficult to avail loan. So things needs to be simplified, and we need to have the proper skill set. And there are challenges to to support it financially. So these are the key challenges we face.
Who will go next?
Yeah, some brilliant points actually made by Danish. So he's actually made my job a lot easier. Challenges for me initially would be the mindset that you need to be an entrepreneur is totally different. Now, when you are an employee, you think from an employee's point of view, but when you want to be an employer, you need to have a completely different mindset, because you don't know where the next 30,000 or 50,000 or 1 lakh or 10 lakh are coming from. You don't know that. There is no fixed guarantee that you're going to get paid at the end of the month. Second massive challenge I feel is, especially I being from a services, in the services industry, the moment your client knows that you're a person with disability, they start judging you. And this is true everywhere, right? So, and as Dani said, there's no place to hide if you're an entrepreneur. You've got to deliver. So that's the only way, you can answer these critics is to deliver. Opportunities, I see there are plenty of them. Especially if you're an internet entrepreneur. We have a very hybrid model. We have, people working remotely as well as from office. We are thinking of going fully remote now, completely virtual. So technology has opened, a lot of doors which previously weren't there. Most of our meetings usually happen through Zoom and Google Meet and, all these platforms. So I don't even have to go and meet these people in person. Last few clients, I have never even met them, and they have never met me in person. Some of them don't even know that I cannot see. Maybe if they're listening to this, they might get a shock. Because when they look at me and when they talk to me, they don't realize this. It's only when they show something on the screen or something, I need some sort of assistance. But apart from that, I think if you're an internet entrepreneur, the opportunities today are massive compared to the challenges. I think Danish has already talked brilliantly on the challenges. But I feel these are the opportunities that you have in this day and age of the internet.
Hello, everything has been said, but still my observation is that when you tell people that, look, I have started, I'm starting, etc., they wish you good luck, etc., etc., it's great, all these things, all these comments will come up. But giving work is a big task, I guess, that, oh, this person is a person with disability, and there are hitches, not in all people, but some people, how will you do the work, they have some, and this is with all, and it increases when a person with disability ventures to do some activity on his own. And another challenge that I personally face, because I am an advocate enrolled with the State Bar Council, so I cannot go out and advertise or market my activity. So this is a challenge that I am facing, and that's it from my end.
One thing I want to add, Shakul. Now, but there is a positive thing also. Like a lot of things are coming forward for the entrepreneur, like Stand Up India, Startup India. We have Shark, programs like Shark Tank. So now, before 10 years or 20 years, we used to, I say we as disabled, think of having job. Now most of us think that we have to provide jobs to the others. So change has come, as Ankur said. So this is a positive thing, and future will be of entrepreneurs.
Rightly said. So, and just to share a few things about it, like in India, entrepreneurship is really now a boom. I mean, it's really spreading so fast. I think, if I'm not mistaken, India has become second largest country of entrepreneurs. Like the ecosystem has grown up so much. There are so many people who now want to become an entrepreneur, and especially because of COVID. When in 2020 they had the problem when people were losing jobs. Now there is another scarcity of people, because now the companies are looking to recruit more people and they are not getting it. When people lost job, they found some other ways of income, and now they don't want to go back to the corporate. And that actually helped people to, sit back, think about what they really want to do in life other than earning their bread and butter, because they didn't have an option, right? I mean, there's many of them, they lost their jobs or their salary was cut massively. So many of them decided to start something of their own, be it starting from small gigs or something like that. So it's actually increasing. Support system is also being enhanced. So I think I see a good future for entrepreneurs, and the ecosystem will become bigger and bigger. So towards the end, and before I take questions from my audience, and I hope this time you do have few questions for these entrepreneurs, I just want to take your final thought and advice for all those youngsters over here, or anybody who wants to become an entrepreneur. One key advice that you'd like to, one key recommendation that you'd like to give to these people.
On lighter note, think from follow Ankur. The most important thing for an entrepreneur to influence the organizer, as he always does with the Kartik. So I asked him, did you ever hear my shows? He said, I heard your 2 shows, both with the Kartik. And yesterday I asked, okay, let me test you. 2 plus 2, he says 4 Kartiks. So, you should know how to influence the organizer. On serious note, key advice is, things are being changed. There should be a disability discourse, and we should have confidence that we can be very good entrepreneurs. There can be there will be challenges rather, but challenges is for all. We should be positive that we can do it. We should have that confidence, and we should think about entrepreneur, and we should ask government to simplifies things for us, and as we are approaching fastly towards accessibility, entrepreneurship will be more lenient and easy, and we will have many entrepreneurs in our near future. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my suggestion is don't get disheartened, depressed, always remain positive and be solution oriented as I have done. So you will be able to make a mark and you will be surely succeed. You will surely succeed in life. And on Danishji, I would like to tell that I would really like to help him to provide any solution to how we could simplify or the mechanism or whatever doubts he has. And that's all from my end. Thank you. And it was great to be here with so good panelists. Thank you.
Yes, so already a lot of things have been said. What I would like to conclude with is there are three things that you need to be successful as an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter whether you are a person with disability or not. And those three things are, one is you need a mission. You need a strong enough why. Just ask yourself, why do you want to become an entrepreneur? Let me tell you, it's one of the hardest things you will ever do. Don't tell me you want to be an entrepreneur just to make money, because that is not a strong enough why. You need to feel some inner striving towards inner calling has to be there to go towards that goal. See, Karthik is very passionate about disability, so he's working in disability tech. So he has a very strong enough why. I wanted freedom, true freedom. So I had a strong enough why. So find that why for you, find that mission for you, whatever works for you, find that why. First thing. Second thing is a team. Although, it's an era of solopreneurs and stuff like that, you definitely need a team to survive and to, beat the competition in the market, or to collaborate and grow together. Even then, you need a team. And when I say a team, it's not just a technical team that you need. It's your support team as well. It's a group of friends, it's a group of family members who can support you during the hard times. So second thing is the team. And the third thing, the most important thing I would say, is leadership. Now, to become a successful entrepreneur, you've got to be, an inspiring leader yourself. Now, leadership is something that can be learned. It can be learned. You find mentors who can, guide you, who can walk you through the process, who've already been there, done that, and just follow their lives and, build your leadership skills. So to conclude,
they actually pointed out some really good points. Just to summarize, it might sound very fancy to be an entrepreneur, but trust me, it's not an easy journey unless you have the kind of resilience that Ankur was talking about. Unless you have the willingness to do things, that you have a strong feeling and you really want to do that. It is a very, tiring journey. Some of the time you might feel so lonely about it and all those things, but it actually helps you become a good individual, a really good leader. And a great leader is such who leads by an example. So if you want to have a good team, lead by example, show it to them how it works. It's really important. I'm really grateful to all my panelists. Now the forum is open for audience to ask questions, so please raise your hands and our volunteers will hand you over the mic, and we have 5-7 minutes to ask you questions, please panelists. Please feel free to frame your question. And please be specific when you're asking your question. Do we have any questions? No. Okay, thank you so much. You made our jobs really easy, guys. I hope you had a nice nap. One housekeeping announcement, please. This is a lunch time. Please don't get up from your seat unless a volunteer comes and guides you up. We will make a group of people, you will get a volunteer who will guide you through the cafeteria.
Well, no, Shakul, sorry. Yes, you are not as lucky, guys. There is a change. There is no lunch for you today. Lunch has been cancelled. How many of you still want to be at the conference with the lunch being cancelled? Say yes. Yes. How many of you are like, what the hell? I don't want to be at the conference anymore. Say yes. Alright, well, in all honesty and being serious, there is a slight change. The hotel has requested that we move the lunch from now to 2 p.m. So you will have to wait a little longer. But in the meanwhile, there is some amazing people who will be sharing some information with you in a bit. You know these people. One of them was actually with you, and I'm going to keep that a surprise. We'll take another 5 to 7 minutes, and after that we'll start a short presentation, after which I promise you'll get food. So thanks again for your understanding, and we'll be with you shortly.